So I watched Twisters, Hollywood's latest scraping the bottom of the barrel for nostalgia content. And weirdly enough, this movie is not a sequel or even a soft reboot. It's just a separate story about tornadoes that's completely unrelated. You might think that because there's an S at the end that it's related somehow, but it's just an unrelated movie about tornadoes. It stars Daisy Edgar Jones and Glenn Powell, and it's directed by Lee Isaac Chung, who also directed Minari, which won an Oscar, and now for some reason he directed Twisters. We've all seen people make a successful critical film and then move on to a Marvel movie, but Marvel movies are popular and until recently were a surefire hit. I have no idea why he would decide to direct Twisters. Anyway, so the plot of Twisters is Daisy Edgar Jones is a former storm chaser who has given up the life after a traumatic event happened and she saw several people die in front of her. Years pass and she's moved on to just being a meteorologist who watches computer screens. But when a friend from her past shows up and has an offer for something that could change the way that tornadoes are tracked, she's drawn back into the world of storm chasing, where she meets egotistical, YouTube famous storm chaser Glenn Powell. The two dislike each other at first, but slowly become friends over the course of the movie and maybe something more. So this movie was kinda bad. It wasn't terrible. It was better than I was expecting. The trailer where the guy from Nope keeps shouting, "We got twins!" that I've been seeing for 6 months now made this movie look much worse. A big thing with this movie though is I don't understand who this is for. At the time of recording this video, it's Friday, so the weekend box office results have not come in, but I'm expecting this movie to flop incredibly hard. I don't think that there's a strong nostalgia kick for Twister, so I don't see the brand name helping, and disaster movies have been a dead genre for a pretty long time. Roland Emmerich had to get funding from Russian spyware for his latest movie, Moonfall. The disaster genre is dead. Also, this movie is weird. I don't know who it's for. There's a good amount of tornado carnage, and the special effects are amazing. It's shot pretty well. There's a lot of weird close-ups for no reason that seem like digital zooms that were done in post. Not like they were actually zooming in on the camera, like they were zooming in on the footage when they were editing it. But this movie has such a large emphasis on romance. The movie structure where you'll get a 20-minute tornado sequence, like I said, are pretty well executed for what they are. I mean, I didn't really care, but if you're into that sort of thing, you'd probably like it. And then about 30 minutes of a budding romance. The romance stuff just feels like it's from a Hallmark movie. It's sappy and overdone. Glenn Powell does a pretty good job elevating his cliche stock character into something more. I think he's charming enough to pull it off, even though the character isn't very interesting and can be kind of annoying at parts. He did have a few jokes that made me chuckle a bit. The rest of the cast is not doing a very good job, and it's mostly how the characters are written. They're all very generic stock characters. Glenn Powell's crew especially are all incredibly annoying, and they're not really established as characters. You definitely could have cut some of them and the movie wouldn't have lost anything. I did not think that Daisy Edgar Jones was giving a very good performance. She's very wooden, especially in the emotional scenes, and you don't really buy her emotions when she's acting. Because of the on and off start-stop pacing of tornado stuff, then romance, then tornado stuff, then romance, the movie feels like it's 16 hours long. And by the time the end of the second act slump came, I wanted the movie to be over so bad, and I knew that there were at least 30 minutes left. The movie has lots of bad country music, or as I like to call it, country music, and the movie is clearly going for like the country southern attitude where like Glenn Powell's like, we don't need degrees to chase tornadoes, we just need our hometown charm. Which, once again, I don't understand who this movie is for. If they're targeting that demographic, they're not going to watch a movie with a female protagonist, and they're going to completely dislike all the romance stuff. So that's Twisters, a mediocre nostalgia remake that's better than the trailers depicted it, but still bad. I would not recommend you watch it. I feel like this movie is gonna flop. Like I said, it seems like it's for no one. I don't know who this movie is supposed to appeal to. Anyway, what's a movie you hope they never do a cash grab, nostalgia bait, remake, sequel, reboot to? Let me know in the comments below, and if you like this video, check out my video on Wonka to see me talk about another nostalgia bait movie. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.